Hello, good morning. Today in this video we will see how to connect RJ45 connector to a network cable. This tool is called the crimping tool or also called network crimper. Here you can see there are three holes. They look alike but different in sizes. This hole is called the crimp hole for crimping RJ45 connector to network cable. This hole is called the crimp hole for crimping RJ11 connector to phone handset cable. This hole is called the crimp hole for crimping RJ12 connector to phone cable. This blade is called the wire cutter for cutting flat or round shape cable. This is called the wire stripper for stripping flat or round shape cable. This connector is called RJ12 connector for phone cable. Here you can see this cable is connected to phone set at the other end. This connector is called RJ11 connector for phone handset. Here you can see it is connected to phone handset at the other end. This connector is called RJ45 connector for network cable. This blue cap is called strain relief boot to prevent snapping of the retaining leg. This wire is called the network cable type Cat6. Here you can see there are 4 twisted pairs, 8 wires in total. These wires are color coded: orange, orange white, blue, blue white, green, green white, brown, brown white. There are two standards for feeding these 8 wires into RJ45 connector. We will use T568B standard for feeding these 8 wires into RJ45 connector. According to this standard, we will feed these wires in this sequence: number 1 orange white, number 2 orange, number 3 green white, number 4 blue, number 5 blue white, number 6 green, number 7 brown white, and number 8 brown. This is called the network cable or phone cable tester. It has two components: number 1 main tester and number 2 remote tester. Each component has two ports: one port for RJ11 and RJ12 connector and the other port for RJ45 connector. First of all, slide strain relief boot on the cable. Put about 2 cm length of the cable into the wire stripper. Press crimping tool gently, rotate the cable to separate outer jacket, then remove it. Here you can see 4 color coded twisted pairs, in total 8 wires. Untwist all 4 pairs of wires. Pinch each wire tightly between your thumb and forefinger and run along the wires to straighten them as much as possible. Now we will arrange all 8 wires in sequence according to T568B standard for feeding them into the RJ45 connector. According to this standard, we will arrange wires in this sequence: number 1 orange white, number 2 orange, number 3 green white, number 4 blue, number 5 blue white, number 6 green, number 7 brown white, and finally 8 brown. Now measure the accurate length of the wires to feed them into the RJ45 connector. Keep RJ45 connector along the side of the cable and make sure that the covered portion of the cable outer jacket can pass through the straining latch of the connector. Then cut the rest of the wires exceeding beyond the connector. Make sure that the ends of all 8 wires are at the same level. If not, then cut them to adjust their level. Again, make sure that all 8 wires are still arranged in sequence. Now hold RJ45 connector in upside down position, retaining ledge facing down and straightening ledge facing up. Slide all the 8 wires in proper sequence into RJ45 connector until they are all snugly fit into the connector. Make sure that all wires are arranged in proper sequence into RJ45 connector. Insert RJ45 connector into RJ45 crimp hole of the crimping tool and then press the crimping tool tightly. A click sound will be heard. Then remove the connector from the crimp hole. Make sure that all wires are crimped in proper sequence and snugly fit into RJ45 connector. Now slide the strain relief boot on the connector. In the same way, connect the other RJ45 connector at the other end of the cable. Switch on the power of the network tester. Insert one RJ45 connector into the main tester's RJ45 test port while the other RJ45 connector into the remote tester's RJ45 test port. If all wires are intact and connections are sequentially arranged into the connector, the lights will turn green from 1 to 8 sequentially. Here you can see all green lights are blinking sequentially from 1 to 8, which indicate that all wires are intact and sequentially arranged. If any light is not turned on or turns red or turns on non-sequentially, either the wires are broken or connections are not sequentially arranged into the RJ45 connector. Thank you for watching this video.